All right, we're back with the part two HSC Podcast 146 talking NFL football updates. Uh, kind of going through this. There wasn't a lot from last week's updates, but there's some couple key things that's happening and that has happened. A lot of free agent signing, not a couple big, couple, important, but tons of free agents are starting to sign right now, transaction wise.
Let's get into it. The Giants have solved their quarterback problems.
Dude,
Oh
well,
yeah.
okay.
Not
First of
only
all,
Jameis, but Russell Wilson.
right.
Unlimited.
Did you see the meme where because I forgot they picked up Jameis until they got Russell.
Right.
It shows them both their faces as Dumb and Dumber.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but right out the gate, I'm playing Jameson over Russell Wilson.
Oh, of course I am. Until Jameis throws four interception and two pick sixes, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll throw in Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The problem is those guys are coaching for you know, DeBall and Shane are both, it's their jobs on the line. So they're going to
The
start.
memes, the memes with Duval are hilarious. It's like, how did I get so lucky to have these two guys
Yeah.
as my quarterback? I mean, like I was gonna say is why don't you just get? I mean, why can't you just get four Cody Pickett's, right? And you do each quarter, like if one of them like throws a pick or pick six, just put in the other one. I mean, that's basically what you're getting with them. You get two average quarterbacks who are way beyond their usefulness, except
Yeah.
Jameis. He plays well at times. I mean, you know, he makes some big plays and he makes some really bad plays. And Russell's, he's getting more consistent, but he really tailed off the end of the season last year. I mean, I don't think the last four games they scored over 17 points, the Steelers.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just not, I mean, that's just
Well,
proves
I kind
that.
of feel with that though is was Pickens just disappeared. At least now he's got Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean, it's helpful, but he's kind of in a similar situation that I mean, Russell's a lot more conservative with the ball. He's going to go out and have 200 yards. He's never going to go, rarely going to go for big games where Jameson's going to sling it. He's going to come out and he might get you 350.
yeah, the
Um,
Five
Giants,
interceptions.
right.
Giants are going to have to solidify the offensive line more if
Yeah.
you're going to have Russell back there starting or Jameis. I mean, so
Maybe they're thinking Travis Hunter, though.
Well, that's the thing is, I get it. You could still, do you want Shador in that locker room with those two
No,
quarterbacks?
I don't think you put them together if you plan on drafting Shadur.
Yeah.
and that and
Is
that's
this
that
more
does
of a Milrow or Dart or Will Howard?
Right. Will
yeah. I
Howard.
think I think everyone's looking at that and teams are saying, okay, look, the big obstacle to get Shador was the Giants. Now, like most likely they're gone out of the sweepstakes now. Now it's like, okay, then I mean, how far does he fall? Who moves up? And then of course we have the Raiders sitting there in that position where you're gonna have to make a tough decision probably because I don't think anybody really is going to want to move up for him.
It does look tough as far as like somebody wanting to give up a lot of draft capital to move up to draft him. That puts the Raiders in the most interesting position, which we talked a little bit about earlier. But so let's say Travis, or not Travis, so Travis Hunter goes, but maybe you got Shadur and Genty, right, at that spot. I mean, after watching his workout video of Genty, I mean, I don't know how you don't draft him, but you do need a quarterback at some point in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've started doing some mock drafts, getting that. So I got Genty at 6, and then uh, Jackson Dart fell to me, which I don't think is realistic. So I took Jackson Dart. I was like, "There's no way Jackson Dart's there at 37 or whatever. That's just ridiculous."
Yeah.
But Milrose might be. Or I I would rather have Genty just not just because of the video that I watched was just stupid. It's ridiculous. Like that's a human being. Like that's not a robot. That's not the Terminator. That's a running back.
We'll be talking about what he is later, when we go through the movie review. he's a
But
he's not a real human.
Well, for me, that's a hard one. So, like we were talking, me and Steve were talking earlier. I love Genty. I'm one of his biggest fans. I think I would be happy with him at 6, but can you not take Shador at 6? Because you're not going to get, like you said, you're not going to get Dart in the second round. So are you going to want it to be Will Howard or Milrow or Gabriel or
no, I
McCord or
McCord. I'd rather have McCord, but if it's Milrow, I would rather have Milrow. But if he was gone, I will take McCord. But that's
wouldn't
not
you
that.
rather if you could have Shador and then O'Mara and Hampton or Shador and Judkins and
I want
Scatterbo?
Judkins. Now, if it's Shador and Judkins, yeah, I'd rather have that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting decision for them, right? Because you have to think about that. Do I draft the running back now, or do I go deeper into a running back heavy draft with the possibility of getting who knows what? Because sometimes they're really good. Could be better or not, maybe not better, but as good as Genty. Um, so
Well,
It's also running back by committee now, anyways. But the way Genty's built, that's just ridiculous.
but then I've seen, and this is crazy to me because they have so many issues, that the Cowboys want to trade up for Shador. And that would be good. If the Raiders trade back to 12, I think Genty will be gone. But at 12, they can get like a Golden, Matthew Golden, or one of the corners, you know what I mean? And get more draft capital because the Cowboys are stupid.
They want Shador.
yeah, if you do that, you have to get enough capital to move up for Dart.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Because
I mean, the
otherwise, it's
Chiefs
just
have
another year
Geno
without a
Smith for another 2 years too.
what's. Oh yeah, I guess if you're going to rely on Geno and say Geno's just going to be our guy, hopefully he stays healthy and age doesn't wear on him.
But no, I like for the now, if we're not looking future, yeah, Genty would be the best pick because you put Genty with Geno. You pick up a receiver in the second or third round. You sign Tyler Lockett. And then you got, your offense is pretty set.
Yeah, I
And it's
mean that's
totally
another.
different than what they have now, or had last year.
You do have Geno, even though it's Geno, but for a year, you know, I mean, maybe you do wait or something happens, but
You got to have something in place though, because the problem is with Geno is you're probably going to finish, 500 or better, and not put yourself in the position to draft a quarterback once he's really just kind of hits the wall, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have somebody either this year or next year that you're grooming for the spot. And that's where I said, if you're going to trade back that way in that sense of something like that, or maybe you just start thinking about that right now and say, let's solidify a quarterback,
Well,
to take over for him.
in his Shador one to be say like take the hey, we're going to sit you for a year. Is he that type that will go for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I doubt it, but maybe he goes with the attitude is that I'm going to win the job.
Yeah.
Because Gino, I mean, doesn't just because he's there doesn't mean it's his job. Especially if they draft a guy like Shadur, you never know what he looks like. Maybe even a couple games in the season.
Yeah, if I'm the Raiders, it would be hard plus for us to not draft Shador if he's there.
Yeah,
Although I love Genty so much, but
and
I
so
just
Genty can fall to the Bears.
yeah.
That's where we're going here, right? Yeah, well, let's not dig draft too much because we got plenty of time to talk about draft. Um, so one of the big moves, obviously, Stephon Diggs to the Patriots. I mean, it used to be like when Belichick was there, you didn't worry about a guy like Stephon Diggs going there because of the attitude of the team. But what kind of effects he going to have? Is this a How does this help the Patriots? You guys were already kind of high on the Patriots before. Now they got Diggs. Well, not losing the division.
I
So
mean,
how does it work? How does Diggs help them?
although we always said that Tennessee is where receivers go to die, and who was the coach there most of the time?
Oh, that's tough. Sorry, Rabel.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. The problem is Diggs has all the talent in the world, but is he going to be a malcontent there too? Because he has been everywhere he's been.
Right.
No, if Mac Jones was still there, oh yeah, he would totally. I mean,
Dude, he had Josh Allen and he complained.
yeah, Drake May. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like a short fix, short term thing. It just doesn't seem like he's gonna want to be there that long if they're not in contention. He goes from Houston to New England. I mean, Houston is retooling, they're reloading, and you know the Patriots are rebuilding. Um, they got promise on defense. They look really, they made a lot of moves on defense, but New England. I mean, it just seems off to me.
Well, I mean, I've seen some cases where New England's looking at Travis Hunter, and so maybe that gives some extra firepower out there. Now you've got a couple really good receivers, a couple decent receivers. Drake May, I mean, if you're going to give him some guys to throw to, he didn't look too bad, at the end of last season. I mean, I like this move for them as far as if you can bring in another receiver in that, in the draft, a good solid one, maybe they trade back for like a golden.
Or this helps open up that they can draft Will Campbell.
Yes, I mean, that's then you don't have to worry as much about bringing in that, star player. You kind of going to ride Diggs this season as your star on at the receiver position.
Can you imagine like how messed up it will be for Goodell if Travis Hunter, the supposed like unicorn of this draft, ends up with the Jaguars, who like go to Europe like half the season it seems. It's like, really?
Yeah, you're gonna lose all that rookie viewership.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter has been an interesting story back and forth because you see his name popping up for all these different teams. But the closer you get to free agency has changed some of that, right? It changes some of that drafting position, but more so for Travis Hunter, I think it's moved him around a lot.
Right.
But still a good pick there. I think a good pickup for the Patriots. So we'll let them have their little win. Um, as far as any other big pickups, there wasn't a lot. Obviously, Wilson was a big one. We talked a little bit about that. The Giants. It looks like read between the lines. Tennessee's working out Ward. They're gonna do a private workout. Do you see any reason Tennessee doesn't draft Ward at this point?
Unless they get like a king's ransom for the number one pick. Because think about it, if you're like, if you like Ward, but you could also be like, I like Sanders too. And the Giants really like Ward and they want to trade up to the number one pick, you can fleece them.
You can play all the quarterbacks at the same time. Just have them all. Even have Danny DeVito out there.
Right.
You could be.
Because I mean, do we think the Browns gonna pass on Abdul Carter? Do you think, or
I don't think they would. I wouldn't.
yeah,
I mean, but you never know these days, right? But looking at what how that would help them and look at their future, I don't know how you wouldn't want him.
Well, the only thing is um, they've been through like 40 different starting quarterbacks in like in 20 years. It's like they can't get quarterback right. Cam Ward, I mean, you watched his pro day. He's a real deal when it comes to throwing the football, moving around the pocket. Um, that was pretty impressive. And if you're
Yes.
Cleveland, you're like, you really want Abdul Carter, but then you also look at the quarterback position and you're like, uh, I got Cody Pickett, or I got, it's just I still think they take Abdul Carter because I think Tennessee is going to take Cam Ward.
Right.
It's even Cam Ward before the workout. He's like, I'm going to show Tennessee why I'm the number one pick. He just actually said that, and
And I think Cam Ward's one of those guys, to me anyway, that he wants to be the number one pick. He wants to play. He'll play anywhere, and he wants to show his worth.
he's
And
also what I've heard behind the scenes. He's a little annoyed with the attention Shador gets. Like, I mean, look at all the attention he's getting. It's like, what are you talking about here? It's like,
well,
so.
media tried to play up that beef between them already.
Well, that's the media, but
Yeah.
That, hey, I think everyone's a little sick of Shador this, Shador that. Dion, and we throw Dion into it. He's like Cam Court's like, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I am. You watch, it's the eye test. The ball pops out of his hand. He just got his arm. He can throw it from all angles. He can run, but he's careless with the football. It was with Miami, but I can't see why they would not take him number one, because Tennessee desperately needs a quarterback too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think at this point, from what I've seen, one looks pretty solidly in place. So we'll see what the rest happens there. But yeah, like I say, not too much else noteworthy there. So I mean, Rodgers to the Steelers, maybe.
We don't care about Rodgers. He
I
can
mean,
go
where else is he gonna go?
UFL,
The
or
Raiders.
don't they have? I mean, I I almost think he's thinking about retiring,
Right.
but I think the Vikings actually still in play to a certain extent. But I think he's going to go to the Steelers. I don't think the Vikings want the headache.
The Steelers have no. They have to.
They
They
don't
have
have a
now.
choice.
Maybe they're just going rookie. They're like, we're going to draft a quarterback and we're going to play him.
Jackson Dart.
Or they got Mason Rudolph back.
Right. That's a strategy, man.
I mean, look what they did with Roethlisberger. That's what they
Right.
did with Roethlisberger, and they went to the AFC Championship game, and he went there as a rookie. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think Jackson Dart is Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, Jackson Dart, I still think he's. I think his value's gone up. I don't think it's
Right.
gone up dramatically. This idea that, the Saints are going to get him at 9, that's a little of a stretch to me. But
I've seen like the Jets at 7.
did someone
Wow.
say the Jets is 7?
Yeah.
No, that's ridiculous.
That'd be like Christian Ponder-esque.
That's Christian Ponder right there.
Yeah.
Or,
But teams get desperate, They want to feel like that he's better than he is, because
yeah.
if they get him and he's better than he is,
Here's Zach Wilson 2.0, right?
Yeah.
This guy looks great at the combine. Look at his arm. He can make all the throws with no one in front of him. It's like,
Right.
let's get him and play in the most pressured media,
That's starved for a quarterback.
which hasn't
Almost almost as long as the Bears, but not as long as.
No,
Yeah.
well, it is true the Bear because I looked at it. I mean, they say the Jets' best quarterback was Joe Namath. Still, it's been quite a long time since Joe Namath. I mean, you watch those stupid commercials on TV, you're like, dude, they were old, dude.
You mean Aaron Rodgers wasn't better than Joe Namath? Come on.
What, Brett Favre?
Brett
Was that
Favre?
Favre?
Well, obviously, as Jets, none of them were very good comparatively to Joe Namath. So,
No.
yeah, they do need a quarterback. Maybe they trade up for quarterback,
Well,
though. Who
so
knows?
in the mock, so when I got the sixth pick, of course, the Jets wanted to trade with me one spot to get Shador.
Nice.
So I picked Genty, they picked Shador.
You should have traded with them.
Shadur's fallen to the Jets, huh?
No, I know I was going to get Jackson Dart.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. I know his stock has risen, but a top 10 at this point, that's tough.
But he will be a first round now.
Yeah. He definitely, I mean, he did a lot for himself lately, but he played in the SEC. It's tough down there, and he played well last year. So it's not like he hasn't, had good stats down there and throws the ball a lot,
Now, I love
a
the
lot of
guy.
yards.
They're speaking of Aaron Rodgers. They just had one of the Steelers on saying, "I'm not going to sit there and pitch to him why come here. You either want to be a Steeler or you don't want to be a Steeler. What's the big deal here? Like, do you want to play football or do you want to, go, to, the rainforest and well, I don't know what you do. It's like it's I swear it's going to get exhausting for teams like the Steelers and the Vikings.
Well, I mean, I just think at this point, yeah, you're right. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
guys might retire, might not play a whole year,
I'll
get
take
hurt.
Tyler
He'll
too.
just quit. He's just gonna walk off the field. Like he's gonna pull an Antonio Brown, dude.
And then everyone's like, I don't think he's coming back.
He's gonna take off his shirt. He's gonna just run off the field and just quit. All right, well, that's let's wrap football there. So not a lot of new happenings, but highlight a few there. We got the draft coming up though, so start getting into free agency as that's ending, and then start talking about doing some mock drafts and where we think guys will be going. So we'll wrap that there, and we'll be right back with the movie review.